Greetings from the stunningly beautiful seaside town of Airbrith. This is where I've been staying for the last 3 nights, and today is the last full day of the Scotland leg of my trip. It's been absolutely stunning, especially when I consider that in some ways this trip has been underway, the planning for it, for 20 years. Since I first received the family tree and started to want to know more about who those names were, and also where they came from, because where we come from shapes us. So, just a bit of a summary. I landed in London on Monday night, and then the next day went down to Portsmouth, because that is where my closest relatives in England live, in Hayling Island. So I'm an islander, just not a Pacific Islander. So it was really good to catch up with the family who are still living in the same house that my great-grandfather purchased in 1938. Then a great catch-up driving up from Chichester to London through the back way with my good friend Jake Pearce, Oxford-trained semiotician and anthropologist, and just really good guy, an Englishman who has lived in New Zealand for a long time and knows a lot about identity, culture, and semiotics is the art of how we signal and communicate non-verbally. I think that's, anyway, signs and symbols. So yeah, really such a good journey up to London and then through London the next day. So that was the English part of my journey, plus an interview at the Postal Museum about my ancestor Sir Francis Freeling, who kind of reformed the postal service, which was, I didn't know, and he was a spy master, so there's a whole story about that which I'll be putting together. Then the Scotland part of the journey. I came up to Edinburgh and had a brief look at Edinburgh University, which is where my 5th great-grandfather, Dr. James Lind, studied to become a physician in the 1700s, was an absolute polymath. Really looking forward to sharing the episode about him with you, because he's an extraordinary gentleman. At the same time, in Glasgow was my other 5th great-grandfather, John Young, Professor John Young of Glasgow University. So I was able to read his notes, his letters, and also meet some great people from Glasgow University and the Hunterian Gallery to give me a feel for what it was really like living in Glasgow at that time. It's absolutely amazing, because we live in a place and we know a lot of context that somebody reading about us in 100 years or 200 years may not know. And so it was just so good to get that understanding of what was the world that they lived in. We're shaped by our place so much. So that was Edinburgh, Glasgow, the big ones. Yesterday was a bit of a quiet day. Went up to Aberdeen, which is not too far from here. Picked up a car. Gosh, it's nice to drive in Scotland. I really like the fact that in the UK they drive on the correct side of the road. I was a bit worried because I've never driven overseas, but driving was driving. And the roads here are it's a pretty flat land compared to Aotearoa, which is volcanic and many hills, mountains, twists and turns. So today is my last day in Scotland, and I'm going to visit my fellow clan members at the Blairgowrie and Rattray Highland Games. And so that will be a really interesting time to meet those who also bear the name and the tartan around the world. Canada, Australia, United States. I think there are other places as well. So yeah, that's a whole journey that I'll be sharing with you of like what it means to go from just having a surname to actually knowing, oh, I'm part of something bigger, which is something that I see much closer up from my Samoan side of the family through my wife, which is, it's a much more present thing because it's only 2 generations or 1 generation distant from the homeland. I am 6 generations distant from Scotland. This is my first time here, and until really getting that family tree document 20 years ago, didn't really know that we were part of a clan, and none of the people on that family tree were that fussed about it. We were more modern, Enlightenment citizens of the world, individuals, as you would. So, lots to talk about, lots to explore there. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for your comments and your support. Just really happy to be sharing this journey with you. Okay, I'll see you later on. Bye bye.